Aggressive atheism. I think the question revolves around whether or not we are fighting against the belief in God or religion itself. Religion I will fervently and violently fight against for what they have quote unquote believe. And I will fervently fight against misogyny, homophobia, racism, uh, you know, any of that, anti Semitism, all of it. I will fervently fight on the front line against religion attempting this, against religion taking away the civil rights of the homosexuals, against religion trying to stop a woman from doing what she wants with her body because they personally believe that it's a life when it is conceived with no scientific evidence backing that statement. And I will fervently fight against religion for that. I'm an atheist, but when you talk about a personal belief in God or a belief in a personal God, that's not worth fighting against. When you're talking about a sense of spirituality, that's not something I need to fight against. That's something I need to be respectful of. I think I'm a very spiritual person even without any sort of deity. But who am I to tell somebody that they're wrong for believing in a personal God? Who am I to tell somebody that they're delusional for believing in a sense of spirituality or that there's something out there besides everything that's here? Who am I to tell people that? Also, who am I to tell people that the same thing that has helped them through their lives is all a complete delusion? If they're going to find that out for themselves, let them find that out for themselves, but it's not my position to be telling people you're delusional for believing what you do. See, I don't believe in belief, and I've tried to explain that to some believers. I've tried to make that clear that I don't believe in faith and I don't believe in belief. But it seemed to me that, yes, you're completely right on one thing, that sometimes we have to be aggressive and stand up for what we believe in based on logic and based on morality rather than based on one second this. The fact is, the fact that people believe something simply for the reason that it is in this Bible, in this book, this flawed, tampered with piece of paper. All of the ideas in there, the imperfect senses of morality, the blatant bigotry, misogyny, homophobia, and control over people's lives in unfair manner is not a reason to be any part of our law. I would have no problem with religion that would sit down, shut up, and stop thinking that things should be in our law books just because they're in this book. If they could actually think about something for a second and stop it with their blind belief in this book. If they would just take a moment to actually think about something, wouldn't that be nice? If they could stop just thinking that everything they believe needs to be backed some way by the Bible. You know what? The Bible is just it's just a very horrific book that people can use to back horrific beliefs, or people can use it to attempt to say love your neighbor. Those who stand up for things like love your neighbor, those who have a sense of belief in the Bible because they won't think it makes them a better person, fine. I'm not here to tell you that if you can find a sense of morality in this book, if you can find a sense of goodness in this book, you know what? Good. I'm not here to tell you that. But when you try to get things into our law book for the simple reason that they're in this book, and for the simple reason that your religion believes in this, you know what? The founding fathers would be ashamed. There is a reason. The founding fathers were secularists. And apparently, secularism has become evil. That's right, secularism has become evil. Secularism has become an idea that people no longer stand for, and it's disgusting. Secularism needs to exist. The founding fathers who created this country stood for secularism, and you have to be a blind idiot not to see that. Like I said, I have no problem with somebody who has a personal sense of spirituality, a personal faith in God, a personal faith even in Jesus. I have no right to tell you not to believe that. But when you try to use this book to back up ideas such as homophobia and worse than ever, place them into our law books, well, that's when I have to be aggressive. That's when I get pissed off. That's when I tell you you're delusional. That's when I'm going to try to attack your faith. I will not attack people's faith. If people don't want to talk about their faith, that is fine with me. But I will not attack your faith if you don't try to tell me that homosexuality is wrong and get that in our law books. Tell me that I'm going to hell for reaching a different conclusion than you did about whether God exists because I base my lack of belief on evidence, something that you have very, very little of to back up your religion, and not enough that would be sufficient to have any sort of faith in any God whatsoever. So, that's all. You know what? If you could sit back and respect my lack of belief, I can sit back and respect your belief, but if we're going to do this, it has to be in a secularist manner. And I'm all for the free exchange of ideas. If you want to talk to me, I will gladly discuss religion, faith, lack thereof with you. Because I like talking about that. If you don't want to hear it, don't watch my videos. If you don't want to hear it, you can just tell me I don't want to hear it when you talk to me, and I can respect that. But when you try to get your religious beliefs in the law book, when you try to use your religious beliefs to back up disgusting acts of bigotry, that's when I'll get pissed off. A personal sense of spirituality, fine. A personal God or a personal faith, fine. But when you try to inflict it on others, well, that's when we have to be aggressive, abrasive, whatever. And you know what? Here's something I stand for. Here's something I believe in more than everything is love and peace. Something that people tend to attempt to put alongside religion, but you know what? I found love, I found peace, and I found it when I left religion. All I'm saying. Peace out.